Many Star Wars fans consider Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic one of the best video games in the Star Wars universe. It's definitely on my list, and it was a reason why I bought the original Xbox, because at the time I had a PlayStation 2, but hey, I heard so many good things about KOTOR, I was like, okay, fine, I'll get an Xbox. But it is being remade. I know this information is a week old. I apologize for not getting this video out sooner. I just have decided to get around to it today. So anyways, there's a little bit of controversy around the KOTOR remake, and that's what I also want to talk about. But for the record, I want this remake to be good. I want it to live up to the original Knights of the Old Republic. I want it to look beautiful, amazing, with up-to-date graphics. At the same time, stay true to the story, the script of the original game. Which leads me to the issue that I'm currently having from the articles that have been coming out over the past week, is the fact that the team behind the KOTOR remake, Asper, if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. They're technically part of BioWare, even though BioWare was the original company that made the first Knights of the Old Republic, but a lot of those people are probably long gone, and BioWare is not the company it once was. I digress. But anyways, so this team that's part of BioWare, Asper, is the ones taking the lead on the Knights of the Old Republic remake. And yeah, the CGI trailer tease that we got looked good, but that's a CGI trailer. That may not look anything like the final product of the game, and it was only like a glimpse of Rewritten. So that's really not much to go on there. I hope that this remake turns out to be good, as well as faithful to the original game. But the fact that they decided to hire a writer is a little bit concerning. This is from cosmicbook.news. I'll link it below in the description section. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic remade for a modern audience means woke political correct approach. The official announcement for Lucasfilm also confirms that they're, quote-unquote, building the game from the ground up for a modern audience. Our big goals on this are to bring the story to a modern audience and have it be just as impactful today as it was for players when it originally launched, said Ryan Treadwell, lead producer for Asper. The producer at Lucasfilm also confirmed that they were destroying the original game for new audiences. See, this is the problem I have, is that KOTOR was very diverse. There was a variety of characters, different species, from a variety of backgrounds that make up the story of Knights of the Old Republic. Plus, the main character, the protagonist, your character, is one that you can fully customize at the beginning of the game. So you can make your character look just about however you wish for them to look. So there's plenty of diversity already in Knights of the Old Republic, so I don't see why a modern audience wouldn't be happy with Knights of the Old Republic the way it is. The only thing that, some people get turned off by when it comes to the original Knights of the Old Republic is the graphics. At the time when it came out, they were marvelous, they were beautiful, but nearly 2 decades later, of course they're dated. That's just the way technology is. But the story itself is still very good, and that's why I don't think that it needs to be changed at all. However, Lucasfilm and Asper seem to have other things in mind, which are very concerning. So, quote unquote, we've been working really closely with Asper for a long time now to deconstruct what made KOTOR so great and bring back the new audiences, because we want this game to be an incredible RPG. We want this game to be just as beloved as before. Some of my favorite meetings have been in the week now to get the nitty-gritty of Asper, talking about why do we make that choice in the original game and how does it play today? How do we expand that choice and make it even more meaningful and impactful? Well, we think about it, literally every word of dialogue, other choices, down to the clothes and the character is wearing. Now, for the record, I'm going to talk a little bit about the writer that they brought on board for KOTOR Remake. And I just want to say this off the bat. I respect everybody's right to freedom of speech and everybody's opinion, even if some people out there have very stupid, ridiculous, sometimes insane points of view. I do value freedom of speech, including this person who apparently hates men, but that's her opinion. She wants to smash the patriarchy, but okay. But anyways, so they brought her on board to be the new writer for KOTOR. And my issue isn't necessarily with just her opinions about men, though she has a right to those opinions once more. She also stated back, according to Data Racer in 2019, that KOTOR was not her favorite Star Wars game. And that's totally fine. I don't even think KOTOR's my favorite Star Wars game. It's probably TIE Fighter or some other Star Wars games. But KOTOR's definitely on my list. Just because she says it wasn't her favorite doesn't mean she also didn't love KOTOR. So I'm just trying to defend her, even though I'm going to get accused of probably doing some patriarchal crap. I don't know. That doesn't matter. But the point is, I wouldn't give two shits if Sam Meggs was a conservative, liberal. Well, I don't care. The point is, I feel like that there is no need for the script, for the story of KOTOR to be rewritten. I realized that another remake a year ago that I enjoyed playing, which is coming up on its 1-year anniversary, Mafia Definitive Edition, based off the original Mafia City of Lost Heaven game, also had a rewrite in its script. But for the most part, the script stayed about, I'd say, 95% true to the original story. There were some changes here and there made, but at the same time, those were changes I was, as a hardcore old school Mafia fan, I was okay with. It didn't feel like the writer for Mafia Definitive Edition gave us a completely different story than what we got in the original Mafia. That's my concern here when it comes to the wording that we get regarding Lucasfilm and Asper, what they're saying about bringing KOTOR to a modern audience. I believe that a good story can stand the test of time. You have numerous novels and books out there, as well as comic books, right, and graphic novels that have been written decades and even centuries ago that haven't changed the story. Like, for example, I guess you could say Lord of the Rings, even though that was written by Tolkien back in the early 20th century, it still is a story that people enjoy reading today over a century later. So the point is, I think the story, the script, the characters in KOTOR are fine the way they are, and there does not need to be a writer. I don't care what writer's political opinion is about this or that. They have a right to their opinion. My issue is, I think that they should leave the story alone. They should leave the script alone. Just use the script they have. Now, if they eventually want to do, say, for example, a KOTOR 3, then bring on a new writing team, because for the most part, the story of KOTOR 1 and 2 should be left alone. They're both fine the way they are, and that's the way it should be. If they want to update the game with new improved graphics and make it look great for modern gamers and fans of the original game, then that's totally fine. But at the same time, I don't like the idea that we always have to go back to something that's pre-established in an IP, a franchise, on a TV show, comics, movies, etc. In this case, video games, and feel the need, the urge to rewrite things, to rehash things, to make things more appealing for a quote-unquote modern audience, especially a game like KOTOR, which has, like I mentioned, a wide variety, diverse cast of characters. Not just different types of humans, but different species throughout the Star Wars galaxy. It's as diverse as you can get when it comes to a Star Wars game, which has always been a very diverse franchise in itself. It's just the same issue that the woke SJWs always have. They want to go in and reinvent the wheel and go in somewhere where there was already diversity and equality and that positive message of unity, and they choose to screw it up in order to facilitate their own agenda. And I do not agree with that at all. I wish for the script to stay the way it is and the story to remain the same from start to finish. However, Asper, BioWare, and Lucasfilms, under the reign of Kathleen Kennedy, seem to have other ideas when it comes to the KOTOR remake. Who knows how accurate the remake story to KOTOR is going to be compared to the original story. I'm sure in a few years from now when it comes out, There's going to be people making comparisons between the two games. I hope that I'm pleasantly surprised. I really don't know if this writer is a good or bad writer. I mean, you can still be a great writer and have opinions that I disagree with. So maybe she's a really good writer, and maybe she will keep the story mostly 100% accurate. But at the same time, like I just said a moment ago, I don't see the point of there being a writer on this script. I don't get it. I don't understand, other than carrying out the quote-unquote agenda. Other than that, they should just leave the script be. Just leave it as is. Save some money, Asper and BioWare. You don't need to hire any writers. It doesn't matter what their political opinion is, left, right, center, whatever. The script that was originally written for the first game was fine as is and should be left the same. That way, you appeal to OG Star Wars KOTOR fans like myself, as well as new fans. Because if you go and try and change the formula for KOTOR by tweaking it, by going in with the script itself and the stories and the characters and changing this and that and that and that, before you know it, it's not going to be anything other than a bastardized, twisted version of its original self, and that is going to, once again, just like time and time again, piss off the core fan base. You've done it with Star Wars, Star Trek, you've done it with Ghostbusters, you've done it with He-Man, Masters of the Universe. They've done it so many times, they just don't seem to get it. Then they get pissed off at us, the fans, who don't like the product that they put out, because they're the ones that were in the kitchen that took the recipe for making a hamburger and messed it up and bungled the job. That's the problem here. They just don't know how to properly give us what the fan base wants. And the script, the story of the original KOTOR is good. It's almost perfect. It's as good of a Star Wars story as you're going to get. I don't think it needs to be changed at all. The only thing they should be focused on is hire more developers, more people behind the scenes, coders, in order to build this game so that it lives up to the original. That when you play the KOTOR remake, graphically it looks amazing. The music, hopefully they bring back the original score. And I know they're trying to get most of the voice actors back on board. Sadly, some have passed away. But at the end of the day, when this KOTOR game comes out, it better feel like the original. It better be faithful, because if it's not, if there's changes that we notice along the way of playing KOTOR Remake, then not only is that going to piss off a lot of the Star Wars KOTOR fans, it's also going to hurt your sales, BioWare, Asper, Lucasfilm Games. But I've rambled on enough about this particular topic. Now I want to know what you think regarding all the information we've had regarding the KOTOR remake. Are you still excited for the remake? Are you concerned about it? Do you think that the script itself needs to be tweaked and improved and changed to meet the modern audience and agenda? Or do you think the script should be left alone? Your thoughts, your views, your opinions regarding the KOTOR remake, as always, welcome below in the comments section.